What's up, y'all? It's your girl Faye, and I'm back with another video. And if you're new here to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button, okay? And if you don't already know, my name is Coach Faye. I'm an author, entrepreneur, and transitional coach for my company, Academy. I work with men and women visionary leaders, helping to enhance your vision, overcome your mindset and perspective that's preventing you from answering your calling so you can discover your true purpose, utilize your gifts within, become free, and live to see your vision come to life, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get into this video. And the reason God wanted me to make this video is I started here on YouTube. If y'all go back to my channel, y'all can see that I already started this YouTube channel. It wasn't with this same niche I'm doing now, but God kind of shifted me over, okay? So God kind of brought me back to YouTube. I kind of transitioned over to Instagram and TikTok and all that. And I was focused on doing like reels and stuff like that. But God kind of been sitting me down for the past weeks. And he led me just to go back to YouTube and to take it from there. So I'm here. I'm back on YouTube. And I kind of like it more over here anyways because it gives me more room to say what I need to say without having to feel like, oh my God, it needs to be short because oh my God, their attention span, they might just swipe through it. Y'all know how it is over there on Instagram, like and TikTok. Like their attention span is like this. Like they get the reels and just get the swiping. So God brought me back to YouTube and he just specifically told me that he wanted me to go over my entire journey of me answering the call. Okay. So I'm gonna be doing different videos. I'm not gonna do it all in one video, y'all. Cause baby, this video will be like 2 hours long probably. But I'm just gonna go by like certain points, certain time frames in my journey, and I'm gonna do each video on certain points so y'all can just kind of be more condensed and you know what I'm saying. So you're gonna see like different parts. I'll label it part one, part two, part two, part three, part four, so y'all can know what part to watch first and know the exact order. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this, y'all. Are y'all ready? Go ahead and comment down below if you're ready, and go ahead and let me know if you answered the call already. Are you already on this journey? Do you know what answering your call is, or do you have no idea? Just let me know in the comments where you at exactly in this journey. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my story, where it all began. Okay, so where I got the call where I actually heard it. I got it at the end of 2019, okay? I was working at a call center job and this job, I always felt like I didn't want to go to work, but this time it just felt different. Like it felt like I was actually dreading to go to work. Like I actually really didn't want to be there. Like I didn't even want to, waste small talk with people because I'm like, I'm not gonna see these people. I'm just here to get a paycheck. Like these people are not like I wasn't even worried about none of that. Like people looking at me like, why she staying to herself? Why she doing that and all this other stuff? Because I really didn't want to be there. And not to get me started like on the customers. Like y'all already know how it is working in call centers. I was not ready. I would not want to do it, especially if my heart wasn't there. So that's already, I was not feeling it, y'all. So during that time, God was just tugging on my heart. He was just telling me, like, Lena, there's something more to what you're doing. Like, there's something more to life. Like, I heard him saying that to me over and over while I was there. And I'm just like, God, like, what is this more? I'm like, what is more? He was just telling me, like, Lena, it's more. It's more to life than what you're doing. That's all he just kept saying. Like, it's something more to life than what you're doing. So that job I was at, it was a temporary job. It was one of those temp jobs. So I actually made it to the last round of that job. Like they usually have like when they start letting people go, they have like certain, what do you call it? Like certain waves. Like it's the first wave to let people go, second wave, boom, they let those people go. Third, if you last to the last wave, that means you was doing what you needed to do, and they actually enjoyed you. You was bringing something there. So I made it to, I think I made it to the last wave, or I was like the wave before last, but I made it like past the threshold. I continued to work there until January 2020, and I got let go that second week of January, that first week. So I'm like, okay, I got let go. So I'm like, okay, what now? I'm like, do I just go, find a job? You know what I'm saying? Just go do what I need to do. But God was just leading me. He was like, he was telling me that he was telling me that I'm trying to figure out how exactly he told me. I don't remember exactly how he told me, but I remember he was just like, he started telling me about cake jars. He started telling me about actually doing desserts, sweets. And I wasn't even thinking about that. That never was in my forte. I mean, I like baking, as like, just doing it at home, baking. But I remember when I was at that call center, they had a potluck, and my mom, she made these things called dump cakes. So it's basically crumbled up cake, and it's in a bowl, and you layer it out with whatever you want. It could be whipped cream, icing, add little toppings and miscellaneous things in there. So I made one for a potluck at my job, and they loved it, y'all. Like they was like, "Oh my god!" Like I was supposed to save my boyfriend some of the cake for them. And I had to literally take it away because they was finna take it off. Okay, like they was gonna eat the whole bowl. So they were just like, "Oh my god, it was so good and all that." So I was thinking about that. I was like, "Damn, I didn't make a bowl and everybody enjoyed it. So maybe it is." But y'all, even before then, I got that call at the end of 2019. God was telling me and leading me to move to Texas. I think it was like for a year. Before that, I was getting like, when he first told me, he was like, go to Texas. He was telling me about land. He was telling me move to Texas. All I heard land in Texas. I heard land in Texas. And at that point, I didn't know what it was. So, I heard it, but I wasn't really, being like, okay, what I need to do. Not to 29, not to 2020. And I was just like, okay, I'm actually, try to move to Texas. I was like, I'm gonna wait till tax season come. I'm gonna use my taxes and I'm gonna move. That was my plan. Now, as y'all all know, maybe 2020 was the year the pandemic hit. So, like, it was literally like after God was telling me to do this thing, to go to Texas and all these things. Literally, y'all know when the pandemic hit, it was the beginning of 2020. It was like that. I think when stuff started shutting down, it was right around tax season, or like right at the beginning of tax season. I think stuff started shutting down like March, if I'm not mistaken. So y'all, I'm looking at it like, God, how am I supposed to go to Texas and it's a whole pandemic, like a whole virus just came out, like they shutting stuff down. I'm like, how am I gonna go to a whole nother place and I don't even know nothing about it? So I'm looking at it like that, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna put this aside because I don't really see how that's gonna happen right now. So I didn't do it at that point. So I was like, okay, well, since I can't go to Texas, I'm gonna go ahead and do the sweets. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the cake jars. So that's what I started over there in Jacksonville that year, 2020. That's what I started to do. I started getting into my cake jars. At that time, I started out with my twin. I started out with her. I don't even know how that came about, but I think around that time we was planning to do like businesses together. There was other businesses that never came to fruition. We was planning. We was actually talking about doing stuff together. So somehow, some way, I guess we came together with the cake jar. So she started out with me, and it started out great, y'all. Like it actually started out great. Like people actually was buying. It started off better than I expected. Like I wasn't expecting like that start when I started selling those. I wasn't expecting it. So um that's kind of what I want to get to just in this video right here, right now. Just for the part one. So which I can just take back from this video is just I got the call at the end of 2019. I was working at a call center. Y'all, it was dreadful. I was feeling like a zombie. I was feeling like I don't feel like being here. Like I was just so over the 9 to 5. I was over it. And God was telling me, He was pulling on me, telling me there's more. There's more than this. There's more to life than what I am doing. Okay? So that's when I got let go. January 2020, I got let go from the job. I plan to move to Texas with my taxes. When I got my taxes, boom, COVID came. The pandemic started. Things started to shut down. It started my plans. I was seeing from these eyes, looking at what was going on and seeing that no, I can't do this right now because it's a whole pandemic. It's too much stuff going on. So boom, that's when I went and went ahead and said, okay, I'm gonna go do the cake jars then since I can't do that. Okay, now y'all, with all of this being said, this is the first part. I'm gonna stop it right here, so y'all know that boom, I went ahead and I started the cake jar business. It started off great. Boom. That's where I'm gonna end off at. Okay, until the next video. But what God really wants you to get from this video is that it's all about positioning. Okay, it's all about positioning. When I say that the end of 2019 was the day I received the call, the day I heard, it wasn't the first time that God was trying to get my attention. Let's be clear. Like when we actually hear the call, God tried to get our attention 1,000 times before, but we just wasn't in the right position to hear from Him. So all the other times when He was trying to get my attention, I wasn't there because I wasn't feeling like, oh my God, like I'm so tired of this life. Like I want something more. Like I actually want to live. I wasn't like feel like it's so hard to explain because it's like it's not until like you really sick and tired. Like people can complain all day and be like, I don't feel like going to school. I don't feel like going to work. But that's just something we do. But it wasn't until like this time frame in the 2019 where it really hit me. Like I really was just like wasn't happy. Okay, so it was different seasons and times for everything. Okay, so at that moment I was positioned, my spirit was weary, so I was able to actually hear from God and hear what He was trying to tell me. So in this journey, y'all, everybody's not really gonna understand what you're talking about, oh, answering the call, because even though people might not have heard it or know what you're talking about, God has been trying to call them. God has been trying to call you, but you just might not have been positioned or in that place to be dependent on Him or to feel like you want something more. Because if you're over here, you satisfied with your life and you satisfied with everything that's going on, then you're not gonna hear from God because you won't feel like you don't need Him because you're complacent, you're content with where you're at. Okay, so when I say I got the call in 2019, that wasn't the first time God tried to call me. That's the first time I actually heard Him. Okay, and I actually heard and listened. Okay, at least partially, because I'm gonna get into all that later. But like I said, y'all, that was one thing to take away. Just with you hearing and answering the call, it's all about your position. It's all about where you're at in life. If you're kind of at the point in life where you're not really depending on God, you feel like you can just do it on your own and you got this and you plan everything for yourself. You just going by whatever you got going on. God can't work with that because you're in a position of being independent and you're in a position of not hearing from Him or feeling like you need Him or feeling like you need to escape or something more. God can only work. It can only work with people and help people who's in a position to feel like I need help. Like that's dependent. That's not being independent on their own works and their own hands and what they got going on. And that's just the part that I came to in that journey in 2019. I was at that point, I wasn't happy with my life anymore. I was like, damn, I know it's something more than what I'm doing. Like I'm tired of living this same cycle. Like it's doing the same thing every day. Wake up, go to work, boo boo, come back home. Like I was sick of it. I'm like, bro, like I'm tired of my life being predictable. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired of my life being predictable. Like I can predict exactly what's gonna happen tomorrow. Like I'm gonna know exactly what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm like, no, like I want my excuse me, y'all. I want it to be um uh mixed up. Like I want some type of thrill. You know what I'm saying? Like I want some type of thrill. And that's what God led me to. He was just like, I have more for you. So, y'all, another thing that I want to point out is when you're getting this call, God is going to be telling you things that you might not understand with the physical eye. Your physical eyes cannot see it. Okay? And you're going to be like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get this done? It's very important on this journey that you don't use these two eyes to determine what you're going to do or what God is telling you to do. Because if you use these two eyes, you're going to put it off. You're not going to feel like, oh no, I can't do it right now. You're going to feel like it can't happen. So where I messed up at is I didn't even come check with God. When I seen the pandemic had started, I made up in my mind. That was my own decision. I said, oh no, I can't do this right now because this is happening. So I put it aside and I took the next thing that God told me and I ran with it. But I didn't even know the timeline of what, he God can give us stuff, but just because he gave it to us and he showed it to us don't mean it's for right then and there. Don't mean it's for that season. Okay? So I was just going ahead and going like with how I feel. I wasn't checking with God. I didn't check with God like, okay, God, this pandemic happened. Like, do you still want me to go to Texas? I ain't said, oh, do you want me to start cake jars now? I ain't asked him none of that. I just went with my own thoughts, my own mind. This was the beginning of my journey. Like, yes, I chose, okay, I'm gonna follow you, God. I'm gonna answer my call. I'm getting more closer with you. But I still wasn't nowhere near where I needed to be, okay? And not to mention, I was doing it on my own. So I didn't have no guidance. I was guiding myself. God was guiding me, but I wasn't really open and allowing him to guide me. So I made some mistakes that could have been avoided, but it still worked out for my good, regardless. And it still works with the testimony, and it still can help you all who's going through this process and this journey. So I can be able to tell y'all so y'all can learn from my mistakes and y'all can learn what to do and what not to do. So in those situations when God tell you to do something and it's looking kind of crazy, you looking with your physical eyes like, how is this possible? Just try to shift your perspective, okay? And it's not gonna be easy in the beginning because y'all, it was hard for me, especially for not the first year, it was that next year. But I'm gonna get into that later. But the first year it was like I wasn't really worried about. I was doing my cake jars, baby. It was on and popping. Okay. So that's really it for this first video. So that's what God just wanted me to share with y'all, is just to get in position. And if you're gonna hear from God, if you're gonna get this calling, it's all about your positioning. And always remember to go to God, get his guidance, and see what your next step should be. Don't overqualify yourself. Don't try to play the position of God. So if you see stuff coming up, go check with God and see what he wants you to do. Don't try to be the master and be like, okay, well, I think I should do this. Like, no, because baby, our ways are not his ways and his ways are not our ways. And we can't even begin to comprehend his ways. So that's why it's always important to go back to him and see what needs to be done. Okay, y'all. And this is just part one of my journey of answering my call. This is how it all started. I hope you guys enjoy listening. If y'all can, if y'all had y'all journey, y'all went through this, drop it in the comments below. I want to see how y'all journey started and how did you know you got the call? Like, when was the exact moment where you knew you were being called for more? I want to hear y'all stories. I want to hear it. Okay, but that's all for this video, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and share this video with somebody that needs to hear it, and send it to somebody that needs encouragement. Okay, and if y'all want to go ahead and book a one-on-one call with me, y'all can do that. Y'all can do that. The links and all the information will be in the description. Like I said before, our academy will be getting ready to launch. Okay, so the stuff that I have now, the only thing I'm accepting is one-to-ones. I'm only accepting one-to-ones. So I have an early bird price for those who wants to go ahead and get in a one-on-one with me. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check out the description and everything will be in there. All right, y'all. So y'all be blessed. Y'all have a prosperous day. Thank you for listening to this video, and y'all be good.